One of the highlights of this year's Detroit Jazz Festival is the 25th anniversary reunion of the group Straight Ahead, featuring Regina Carter, Marion Hayden, Gayelynn McKinney, and Alina Morr. The Detroit-based all-female jazz group is known for its creative musical style. Here's a preview performance recorded at the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe in Grosse Pointe. And I'm here with the bassist in Straight Ahead, Marion Hayden, along with Chris Collins from the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation and Jasmine DeForest of Quicken Loans. Marion, that is quite a lineup on stage there, all of you. Talk about how this group came together and what you've tried to accomplish with it over the last 25 years.
Well, you know what? The group actually came together in a kind of an old school Me Too moment.
Yeah?
I'll say that. So our first vocalist with the group is a fabulous woman named Mickey Braden. Mickey Braden, and Mickey was working with some of our great Detroit jazz legends, and I think she ended up losing her gig because I think they needed to downsize the group, and she says, "That's okay. I'm going to get my own night someplace." And so Bert Deering, who was one of our jazz club owners for many years, gave us a Monday night. And if anybody knows about a Monday night is pretty much a toss-away night in any bar, any bars and restaurants. Many are closed. So they gave us a Monday night and said, you women have at it. Do what you can with this. And that was the start of the group. We started a Monday night session with Alina Morr, Gayelynn McKinney, myself, and Mickey Braden. That turned into many years of great work together. Mickey ended up moving to New York to pursue a career in musical theater. We added Regina. And another great vocalist.
You picked up some random person, right?
Detroit has such a great cadre of women musicians. That someone like Regina was here. Someone like Jerry Allen is those are some of our residents. These are our resident artists here. So Regina came back from Germany. She was living in Germany for a while. We came back, we added her, and that was how the group was born. And it was really very much a kitchen table project. We worked together, we rehearsed together at Alina Morr's house a lot. We worked on repertoire. We had a couple really big breaks. One of our big breaks was also courtesy of one of the great female composers from Motown, Sylvia Moy. Sylvia Moy, who just passed last year. Sylvia Moy got us our big break so that we got our first record contract with Atlantic Records. That was through her wonderful contacts. And so it really has been just a series of great moments of women really supporting women, and just and Detroit being just one of the great ground zero places for fabulous female musicians, vocal and instrumental musicians.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about women in jazz, women in Detroit in jazz. Are things different now than they were when you guys started off 25 years ago with this group?
I think that that the landscape is a little different in terms of the instrumental musicians. I'd like to see more. And if I may, I'll just get on a very brief soapbox on public school education,
Yeah, right.
Instrumental education, and the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation has been really important in helping to gird this particular thing, because this is where all the musicians come from. Many of them come from public schools and having an opportunity to get instruments when they are in elementary and middle school, and someone has to think that's important. The Detroit Jazz Fest has always felt that was really important. DPS, I think, thinks it's important, but a lot of times it was not reflected in the budget.
Yeah, there's not a lot of money spent on music education anymore.
No, but that's where it comes from. All of us in that in our sphere, all were part of public education, educated as in public schools, and so I feel that that is a void that we need to continue to try to fill in terms of being able to bring more young women into the fold as musicians. The vocal traditions tend to stay around anyway, because they tend to be supported a lot of times in religious institutions, and and schools will have choirs, but they don't always have bands and orchestras.
Wow.
So we need more of that. But the young folks that I have seen have been really wonderful. I have a young protege. Her name is India Owens, and she went to Michigan State. She's a wonderful young bassist, and I have had a couple. A few that have come through. There's a wonderful young lady, Erin Whitsett, that came through the Wayne State University program. She actually was homeschooled, but she's from the community. So we have a few, need more.
Yeah. You guys are celebrating women artists at the Jazz Festival.
Yeah, and the way we look at it every year is, there are so many great leaders in jazz that are women. And it's again about breaking down a barrier and identifying where we need to reach out a little further, a little more, be a little more aggressive, start some education programs where we can put great mentors like Marion up front and encourage young women to understand what a great opportunity is for them, and show off the talent and the leadership that is there. It's just removing a barrier to an opportunity.
Jasmine, talk about why jazz and why the Jazz Festival for Quicken. There are a lot of things that go on in downtown Detroit, and some of them you guys have kind of, I think, inspired with all that you're doing, but why this festival?
This is a true partnership. So I think most of the time when people think of sponsorships, it's just cutting a check. Money, right? It's just money, we're just cutting a check. But we really evaluated this opportunity to partner with the Jazz Festival, and before we became the presenting sponsor, we were a sponsor and we were involved, but we decided to dive a little bit deeper because the Jazz Fest is essentially the crown jewel of the events. I'm not sure if there are any other events outside of the parade and maybe the fireworks that are bringing this amount of people into the city and such a diverse crowd into the city. And jazz is one of those things. I really believe that jazz musicians are geniuses.
Yes.
And I like that.
No, really. And just in terms of what it takes to play and multitask. And so, as you mentioned, with arts and culture and music, a lot of those programs are being taken away and out of the schools and out of the school systems. And I'm a DPS graduate. I graduated from Mumford High School, graduated from Wayne State University. And so it's really important for us to be able to tap into and partner with organizations who are also not only bringing great events to the city, but the Jazz Festival Foundation also does year-round educational programs. And so they're tapping into high school students and college students. And last year, I believe it was, or the year before last, the alumni band, they were at Mackinac. And so they're traveling with these students who look like me, who look like you, who don't otherwise have these opportunities to play in front of crowds. And so it's such a great opportunity. And we have the QL Untitled series, and Kareem Riggins is going to be performing with the alumni band that Chris mentioned earlier today. And so we are really excited to see that. And then also, too, the fact that Chris has just put together a jam-packed, power-packed lineup of some amazing women. I cannot wait to see Esperanza and of
Yes.
course straight ahead
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So it's great. It's great all around because the foundation is truly committed to Detroit and not only bringing music and jazz and also continuing that jazz legacy in Detroit that a lot of people don't realize. You know,
people
you think of
don't get.
Chicago, you think of St. Louis, you think of New York, but we also have an amazing and strong jazz
An
legacy
amazing
in Detroit.
legacy, yeah.
indeed.
All right, so Labor Day weekend, I'll be there.
Great.
I'm sure everyone else will too.
And
It's
if
always great to see you.
they don't have a chance, they can check out the first ever
The first
live simulcast
on DPTV.
DPTV,
Yeah.
6 o'clock to 7:15. Robbie
right.
Coltrane's Universal Consciousness tribute to his mother Alice,
Yeah.
who's a Detroiter.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Excellent. Thanks for being here, and I will look forward to the festival as I always do.